I saw this other project called Project Sunstreak. Are you familiar with that one?
I've heard of it.
It's similar. It's the same sort of thing. It's basically same time frame, but the government was using remote viewing, using psychics to try to locate the Ark of the Covenant. And they have this, it's a whole like .gov article that you could read. It's insane because what they saw was when they were using these psychics to do this remote viewing to find out where the Ark of the Covenant was, the people who did this astral projection, they said, we found it, but we can't access it because it's being guarded by entities.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like, we know that it's obviously like angelic entities.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But I'm just like, oh my gosh, there's nothing new under the sun. When people look back in the Bible and they look at Daniel and how Daniel was a prophet who was serving in this pagan kingdom, King Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom in Babylon, and how King Nebuchadnezzar had all of these magicians and all of these sorcerers and all of these soothsayers. For what purpose? The same sort of thing. Like there's nothing new. Like he had that type of spiritual intelligence agency to try to get intel to be able to expand his kingdom. Like why wouldn't kingdoms be using the same stuff today?
Exactly. And they do. And there's large accounts too of the Roman government. Rome, one of the most barbaric empires.
Yeah.
Using witches and sorcerers at the highest levels to advise the Caesars. You know?
Gosh.
So that's why it was such an explosive statement, what Jesus Christ said when he was approached by the Pharisees who were in the back pocket of Rome, who were looking to entrap him. And they asked him if it was lawful to pay taxes, and he knew what they were trying. They were trying to get him to be seen as an insurrectionist.
Right.
That was the charge, actually, they were trying to pin Jesus with, insurrection. So just think about this with the nation and what we've been through. That was the charge they tried to pin Jesus Christ with. And so he asked them for a coin. He says, who's on this coin? Caesar.
Right.
He says, give to Caesar what is Caesar's and give to God what is God's. And the reason they couldn't answer is because what he was publicly saying is Caesar is not God. They believe Caesar to be God in the Roman Empire. That was one of the most politically charged statements Jesus Christ ever made. He was saying Caesar is not God. There is a dividing line. And if the Pharisees agreed, Rome was paying them. So he now had them trapped. Because they couldn't deny it, because they know Yahweh, is the Most High God, but they also couldn't agree with it because they were in the back pocket of Rome.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think we're marching closer and closer to a state where that is going to be the dividing line, whether we say the people who are in power are God or not. You talk about in your book, I want to see if we can talk about it right now, because it's kind of in alignment with all of the political stuff. You make some comments about the Obama terms and then the Trump terms. So is there a connection between that and what we just talked about? Or what did the Lord reveal to you about those terms specifically?
It's interesting because Obama was a Saul, and Saul means asked for.
Got
Saul means asked for.
Yeah, he was the king that was asked for.
That was asked for.
Yeah.
And the Lord says to Samuel, they're not rejecting you, they're rejecting me.
Yep.
Give them what they're asking for.
Right.
But they're going to regret ever asking for it.
My goodness. Wow.
And so around that time of 2008, which is when Obama ran for his first term, 2008 was a Shemitah year on the Jewish calendar. And
what does that mean?
So a Shemitah year happens every 7 years on the Jewish calendar. It takes 7 Shemitahs to make a Jubilee year, 50 years on the Jewish calendar.
Okay.
Very serious world events are known to happen on Shemitah years. Stock market crashes of epic proportions have happened during Shemitah years. And 2008 was a Shemitah year when Obama was running for president. And it was also the year of the 2008 banking crisis, where the banks collapsed.
Yeah.
That was a Shemitah year.
Yeah, the housing crisis,
yes.
right? Yeah.
Housing crisis, which in turn turned into the banking crisis because they were bundling mortgages and selling them on the markets.
Yeah.
And so they were playing a very dangerous game of Russian roulette, and it imploded. And when this happened, you had a couple things going on. You had Bush's term, the beginning of his term and the end of his term were marked by Shemitah years, which was very interesting. 9/11, Shemitah year. 9/11 was a Shemitah year. And now you've got 2008, and here comes Bush coming out of office, right? I like to call it a burning Bush. And so coming out of office, and you have Barack Obama in a Shemitah year. When the collapse happens, it paves the way for him to come into office, right? A charismatic candidate who seems to have all the answers, who's telling everybody what they want to hear. The people are saying, give us a king, give us a king. And the Lord is going, I'm going to give you what you're asking for, but you're not going to like it. And so he gets elected. In fact, for 2 terms, he gets elected. And this is when you begin to see the unraveling into a greater depth of morality in America, of the foundation of the family in America, that it's under his leadership that the LGBTQ plus XYZ, whatever you want to call it, was in the Supreme Court. They ratified that marriage could be between a man and a man now and a man and a woman. That was under Obama.
Right.
So all of that, because he had the campaign slogan on his second term of forward. Like, we're just going to keep going forward in this, right?
Yep.
Forward. He also, which was interesting, when he became president, I believe it was 2013 is when the Freedom Tower was finished.
What was that?
The Freedom Tower was what now stands in place of the World Trade Centers.
Oh.
So when the World Trade Centers fell, the Freedom Tower was erected. But he wrote something that was a prophecy in a way, not only connecting to Isaiah, but what would happen when it came to the 2020 election. He said, we remember, we rebuild, we come back stronger. Now, if you go to Isaiah, right, I think it's Isaiah chapter, I think it's verses 9 through 11, Isaiah. I don't remember the chapter off the top of my head, but it says, the bricks have fallen, but we will rebuild with hewn stone. The sycamores have fallen, but we'll replace them with cedars. What they were saying is, oh yeah, God, we're going to build back better.
If you enjoyed that clip and you want to watch another video like it, you can just click right over here. Or if you want to see my other channel, Directed Life, full-length interviews and really deep conversations, you can click over here.